So now moving on, we have the sacrifice of Babu Genu. Let me tell you the story about Babu Genu in brief. Babu Genu was an Indian freedom fighter, a revolutionary. Was born on 2nd January 1908 and he died on 12th December 1930 when he was 22 years old. Babu Genu was born in a poor farmer family and he was a worker in one of the cotton mills in Mumbai. He was an active participant in the protest organized by Indian independence activists against the import of foreign made cloth. On 12 December 1930, a cloth merchant was moving loads of foreign made cloth from his shop to an old Hanuman Gully in the Fort region of Mumbai, and he was given police protection as per his request. Now, this activist Babugenu begged not to move the truck, but the police forced the protesters aside and managed to get the truck moving. And near Kalbadevi Road, Shahid Babugenu stood in front of the truck, shouting praises for Mahatma Gandhi, to which the police officer ordered the driver to drive the truck over Babugenu. But the driver was Indian, so he refused, saying, I am an Indian and he is also an Indian. So we both are brothers of each other, and then how can I murder my own brother? After that, the English police officer sat on the driver's seat and drove the truck over Babugenu and crushed him to death under the truck. And this resulted in a very huge wave of anger, strikes, and protest throughout Mumbai. Okay, one of the landmarks bearing Shahid Babu Genu also include the ground at the corner across KM Hospital in Parel. Okay, it is named after Babu Genu, where you can see the statue. Sacrifice of Babu Genu. Pay attention, dear students. In Mumbai, there was agitation against foreign goods. The vehicles transporting foreign goods were obstructed. Okay, they were stopped. Babu Genu said, this is the name given to him. Babu Genu said, a mill worker from Mumbai was in the forefront in this movement. A truck carrying foreign goods, safeguarded by the police, came in front of Babu Genu. To stop the truck, he lied down on the road. Police threatened him, but he did not move from his place. Finally, he was crushed under the truck. Babu Genu gained martyrdom. This sacrifice of Babu Genu gave inspiration to the national movement. So, have you understood the sacrifice of Babu Genu? Now, students, let us look at the features of civil disobedience movement. All the movements till now were limited only to urban areas. But this movement became a nationwide movement. People from rural areas registered their participation. Another feature was that the women also took part in large numbers. Kasturba Gandhi, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Avantikabai Gokhale, Leelavati Munshi, Hansaben Mehta led the Satyagraha. This movement was based on complete non-violence. Okay, it was a kind of peaceful movement. The British government was trying to greatly suppress the movement. but the people protested unarmed. Okay, they did not use any arms and ammunitions or violence. They protested against the British government in a peaceful and in an unarmed manner. And due to this, the Indian people became fearless. Okay, so these are some of the features of the civil disobedience movement. Now we move on to the Round Table Conference. So, what is this Round Table Conference? Round Table is a form of academic discussion. Okay, here the participants agree on a specific topic to discuss and they then debate. Now, here in the Round Table Conference, each person is given equal right to participate and illustrated by the idea of circular layout referred to in the term round table. You can see the picture also. The round table method is still highly used on this day. Now, coming to the round table conference, round table conference, there were three round table conferences from 1930 to 1932, and these were a series of peace conferences organized by the British government and Indian political personalities to discuss constitutional reforms in India. These started in November 1930 and ended in December 1932. They were conducted as per the recommendations of Jinnah to Viceroy, the then Viceroy of India, Lord Irwin, and the Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, and by the report submitted by Simon Commission in May 1930. There was a demand for Swaraj made in this conference or self-rule in India, okay, which had been growing increasingly strong. There were many key participants from India who took part in this round table conference, like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sir Tej Bahadur Shapur, Sapru, V.S. Shastri, etc. Many British politicians believed that India now needed to move towards dominion status. And what is this dominion status? Is like initially a semi-independent kind of a country. Okay. However, there was significant disagreements between Indians and the British political parties that resolved the conferences. Okay. The key topic was about the constitution and India, which was mainly discussed in that conferences. Okay, and as I told you, there were three roundtable conferences that were organized. So now pay attention, students. In the opinion of British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, while the civil disobedience movement was going on, the constitutional issues regarding India should be thought over. For this purpose, he organized a conference at London. This conference is known as Round Table Conference. In the period between 1930 to 1932, three Round Table Conferences were organized. Now let us understand what exactly happened in the first Round Table Conference. Ramsay MacDonald was the chairman of the Round Table Conference. Representatives of England and India participated in the conference. Okay, so both the representatives from England as well as India participated in the conference. And who was the chairman over here? The Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald. Okay, was the chairman. These included the Indian representatives included Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Sir Tej Bahadur Shapru, Barrister Jinha, etc. In the conference, there were discussions on various topics such as responsible government at central level, establishment of federal state in India, etc. Representatives of different political parties in India and rulers of princely states participated in the conference. However, the Indian National Congress did not participate in it. The Indian National Congress was a body that represented the country. Without its participation, the deliberations in the Round Table Conference were indeed meaningless. Okay, next we move on to the Gandhi Ivan Pact. Okay, Ivan was the then Viceroy of India, and Gandhiji refers to Mahatma Gandhi. So, what was the pact between Mahatma Gandhi and the then Viceroy? The British Prime Minister expressed his hope of participation of Indian National Congress in the second round table conference. Okay, so who was the British Prime Minister at that time? Ramsay MacDonald. So he expressed his hope. Okay, he hoped that the Indian National Congress would participate in the second round table conference. In the view of the appeal made by the Prime Minister, the Viceroy released Mahatma Gandhi and other leaders from prison. Thus, a conducive atmosphere was created for the Congress to discuss the issues freely. A pact was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Viceroy Aravind, which is known as the Gandhi-Ivan Pact. According to this pact, the British government assured that the system of responsible government would be added in the proposed constitution of India. Consequently, Indian National Congress withdrew the civil disobedience movement and agreed to attend the Round Table Conference. Okay, so have you seen the Gandhi Island Pact was signed between Gandhiji and the Viceroy Irwin, which assured that the system of responsible government would be added in the proposed Constitution of India. And after this decision, the Indian National Congress withdrew the civil disobedience movement and agreed to attend the Round Table Conference. Now let us see what happened in the second Round Table Conference. Now the Indian National Congress decided to attend the Round Table Conference. So in the second Round Table Conference that was held in 1931 was organized where Mahatma Gandhi attended this conference as a representative of the Indian National Congress. So Mahatma Gandhi attended the second round table conference as a representative of the INC, that is the Indian National Congress. Along with the Indian National Congress, representatives of various castes and communities, political parties, as well as princely states were invited. The government put forth the issue of minorities in the Round Table Conference. There were differences regarding this issue and also regarding the nature of the prospective federal constitution. Gandhiji tried to bring unanimity in the opinion but was unsuccessful. Finally, Gandhiji became disappointed and returned back to India. So in the second roundtable conference, which was attended by Mahatma Gandhiji as a representative of the Indian National Congress, okay, here the government put forth the issue of minorities, okay, because there were differences regarding the issue and also regarding the nature of the federal government or the federal constitution. Gandhiji tried to bring an anonymity, okay, that is all equal on all grounds in the opinion, but was unsuccessful, and therefore Gandhiji left, okay, the Round Table Conference and returned back to India. Cancelled, and a provision for reserved seats was made. Okay, so separate electorates was cancelled and reservation or reserved seats were made. The provision of reserved seats were made. Now, what happened in the third round table conference? In November 1932, the third round table conference was organized in England. The Indian National Congress boycotted the conference. Thus, this conference proved to be futile. Okay. Now, after Mahatma Gandhiji withdrawing the civil disobedience movement after the signing of Gandhi Iron Pact, let us see or let us come to the second phase of civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji returned to India from the second round table conference with a dejected mind. He decided to restart the civil disobedience movement, and therefore Gandhiji was immediately arrested before he would begin with the movement. Hence, there was discontent among the people. So, why was there discontent among the people after Gandhiji was arrested? Was because he had decided to restart the civil disobedience movement. Okay. The government responded to this movement by using inhuman oppressive methods. There was strangling of civic rights everywhere. The Indian National Congress and its associated institutions were declared illegal. Restrictions were levied on national newspaper and literature. Finally, in April 1934, Gandhiji withdrew the movement and the historic phase of civil disobedience movement came to an end. Okay, so hope students you have understood the lesson. Let me have a quick recap on what we just have understood about civil disobedience movement. Okay, to begin with, the civil disobedience movement began after the Britishers imposing taxes on salt and having the monopoly of manufacturing salt. And to protest against this, the Gandhiji began the civil disobedience movement. After that, we saw the salt satyagraha. Now, the salt satyagraha was broken on 6th April, where Gandhiji broke the Salt Act by picking up the salt laying on the seashore of Dandi, and the civil disobedience movement began all over the country. Okay, then we saw the Peshawar Satyagraha, where we saw a very prominent leader, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who was a loyal leader, a loyal follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, organized Khuda Ki Khidmat Kar, that is servants of God, and he started the Peshwai Satyagraha in 1930. Then the town which was in the hands of the Satyagrahis, the British government gave them orders to open fire. But there, a leader, a Satyagrahi, Chandra Singh Thakur, rejected, okay, the orders of the British government, and after that he was court-martialed. After that, later, Gandhiji too was arrested and suppressive measures were undertaken all over the country. Slowly, slowly the protest began growing all over the country. Then we saw the Solapur Satyagraha, where Hartal was observed in Solapur by the mill workers. A huge procession was organized, and the district collectors gave orders of firing on the procession, where many volunteers died in the firing. Okay. Then we saw to Dharasana Satyagraha, where it was led by Sarojini Naidu, and the police lathi charged on the Satyagrahis who came forward to break the SALT Act. But the Satyagrahis silently tolerated the blows of the lathi, and when they were taken for medical aid, another batch of Satyagrahis came forward to replace them, and this kept on continuing. Okay. Then we looked at the sacrifice of Babu Genu, who gave his life, okay, by laying down on the road to stop the truck which was carrying foreign goods. And then we looked at the round table conference, where this conference was going to be held on the constitutional issues regarding India should be thought over. Okay, we're giving India the constitutional objective. Then we look at the first round table conference, where Ramsay MacDonald was the chairman, and while the civil disobedience movement was going on, the constitutional issues regarding India was supposed to be given a thought. Many representatives of England and India participated in the conference, and there was a discussion on the topic of responsible government at central level. However, the Indian National Congress did not participate in the conference, and therefore it was meaningless. Then we saw the Gandhi-Ivan Pact, where pact was signed between Gandhiji and the then Viceroy Ivan. Okay, where he also released Gandhiji, and the British government also assured that a system of responsible government would be added in the proposed constitution. And after this, Gandhiji agreed that the Indian National Congress would attend the Roundtable Conference. In the second Roundtable Conference, Mahatma Gandhiji attended the conference with another National Congress leaders, where Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar also put forth his demand of separate electorates, where the British Prime Minister agreed on giving communal awards. But Gandhiji went on fast until death at Yerawada jail, okay, protesting against the granting of separate electorates, and instead of that, to have reservation of seats. And thus the Pune Pact was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, where Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar then reconsidered the demand of separate electorates for the betterment of the nation. Then in the third Roundtable Conference, the Indian National Congress boycotted the conference, and when we saw the second phase of civil disobedience movement, where Gandhiji again wanted to restart the civil disobedience movement, he was arrested, and this created discontentment among the people, and government has responded to this movement by using inhuman oppressive methods. Okay, there was strangling of civic rights everywhere, and the Indian National Congress and its associate institutions were declared illegal. Okay, there were many restrictions also that were put out on national newspapers and literature. And finally in April 1934, Gandhiji withdrew the movement, and this historic phase of civil disobedience movement came to an end. So students, I hope you have understood the lesson. It was a very easy one, Okay, have a nice day.